Welcome to FedEx Field as your Washington Commanders lose to the Philadelphia Eagles 24-8, and there is a lot that we need to talk about. I'm Darren.
There's a lot to unpack.
Yes, she is Sharla McBride. We're going to talk about just the overall loss.
Yeah.
Behind us, the Eagles fans were taking over FedEx Field. You got a nice exclusive interview with Jahan Dotson's family, which is dope. You don't want to miss that. Of course, suited or booted as well. But also, you, the fans, I want you to weigh in on how you feel about this Commanders win. Excuse me. Did I say that?
Ooh.
This Commanders loss.
Ooh, big loss.
And let me know how you feel. We're going to shout you out during this this broadcast and answer your questions, whatever you need to know. So,
it wasn't
Sharla,
pretty.
Yeah.
It wasn't pretty.
Wasn't pretty.
Nothing was pretty. It was very ugly. Yes, it was a very ugly football game.
Can you just tell the people, you know what? Charles Leno. What did he say?
So, after the game, Charles was asked about their slow start, and he said, now I am quoting Charles Leno here, the offensive lineman. These are not my words. He said, and I quote, "It was like we were constipated. We just couldn't get bleep going." You can fill it in. There you go. That's what happened. They couldn't get anything going at all on offense. And, it's tough to get things going on offense when your quarterback is sacked 9 times.
You can't really get anything going when in their last 2 games they were basically outscored 46-0 in the first 2 quarters.
They were.
First 2 quarters last week against Detroit. First 2 quarters, combine them together for today. 46-0.
They didn't really fix any of the mistakes that they made in Detroit, and I think that's a huge problem. We heard Coach Rivera talking about last week they need to stop those explosive plays. Well, then what happened? We see a lot of explosive plays. Kendall Fuller saying after the game, we can't let those plays happen. Well, we hear you guys saying that. They know they can't do it, but they're still doing it. Yeah, so you're just hearing the same thing. We heard the same thing from Carson again. Yeah, that's my bad. Oh, yeah, that's my bad. Oh, my mistake. A lot of that at the podium today. Well, we know it is, but how are you going to fix these mistakes? How are you going to move forward? Because next week they have Dallas.
Correct. And just looking at this week, they've now lost what they call a rival.
Right.
When there's a rival, the games go back and forth.
Yeah.
The Eagles have beaten the Commanders now 3 straight games, and and 7 out of their last 8 matchups. I think it's 7 out of their last 9 matchups. Either way, it's not good. And we're lucky enough to be during the presser at the game to listen to head coach Ron Rivera and in the locker room to get the feel of how these players feel. And here's what they had to say.
First and foremost, it's a big game for just the team. And that doesn't – they beat us, you know what I mean? And offensively, we just couldn't sustain drives well enough, and we didn't make enough plays on the outside to sustain drives. And, I think the defense was doing well holding them up for a while, and they were just on the field a lot. So, it's tough when you lose, but especially like that in that fashion in your division.
I got to make sure I give our defense a better chance to go out there and stop them and take points off the board.
We still got 14 games left. We're 1-2. I mean, it's an early part of the season. We've got a young group of guys that are getting opportunities to play, learn, and grow and develop as a unit. So, I do think this is a chance for us to continue to grow and get better.
And you could just see it all over Terry's face, and you could hear it in his voice when he said, they beat us. I mean, they really beat us.
One person who really got beat was Carson Wentz.
Yeah.
I mean, you mentioned he was sacked 9 times. And Carson Wentz, he came into this game really, really good. He was second in the league in passing. He was in first place in 7 touchdown passes. And then you're going against your former team.
That he wanted to do
correct.
Well.
He used to play for the Philadelphia Eagles. He was drafted by him. All of his former fans were all here.
Yeah.
Which was like 60%.
I'd say there was more Eagles fans here than
Commanders
75. Fans, yeah.
And what the Philadelphia anchor said from the CBS affiliate in Philadelphia, this is the worst I've ever seen Carson Wentz.
Yeah.
And they've seen Carson Wentz play a lot of
games.
games.
Back from 2016 on. And, this was one of the worst games, maybe the worst game that Carson Wentz has had. I mean, he owned up to it afterwards, saying, a lot of that's on me. But, you can't win a game when you're sacked 9 times. Now, some of that is on the offensive line, but some of that is on Carson.
Yeah, it's a career high.
Not getting rid of the ball fast enough, not getting out of the pocket, not scrambling enough. I mean, he didn't really run that well, didn't really move that well. I don't know.
Well, but yeah.
But it was tough to watch. And when we like edit the video that you're seeing played right now, and we're looking for photos that are taken during the game. You know it's bad when I type in Carson Wentz and everything is, it's him on the ground. I don't know if you can. That's every single photo of Carson Wentz when I type it in the search bar. So, yeah, that's what you're seeing, because that was the game. Carson on the ground, not good.
Yeah, so those 9 sacks that you're mentioning, career high for Carson Wentz. The previous career high was 8. Which was kind of funny because it was when he was the quarterback for the Eagles, and it was the Washington, I think, football team at that time that sacked him 8 times. And here's Carson Wentz. I asked him about his performance against his former team.
How would you describe your performance taking on your former team?
Yeah, not good enough. Definitely not good enough. Hats off to them. That's a good defense. It's a good team. They got after us, and I did not play to my standards, and especially early. I think that's tough, and unfortunately, back-to-back weeks kind of dug ourselves a hole there, and I got to be better, especially early on, so that we're not, having to throw the whole second half and let them play coverage and do some things differently. So I got to be better. It was kind of surreal pregame, seeing all those guys, the coin toss, seeing BG and Fletcher and Jason Kelsey. I was right next to him for years there. And so there's some surreal moments for sure, especially early in the game, pregame. But once the kickoff happened, it was football again, and we just we got out-executed.
Now, Carson Wentz couldn't get done what some of the former Eagles quarterbacks that went on to play in Washington got done. You had Sonny Jurgensen, who used to play for Philly, also Donovan McNabb. And in their first game rocking a Washington jersey when they took on their former team, the Philadelphia Eagles, they got a win, but Carson Wentz did not. So that streak of our luck of a former Eagles quarterback now playing for Washington is now over.
I think this is a game that Carson would like to forget about. And as I said, now we got to just move on and focus on Dallas, because they'll be in Dallas next Sunday.
Yeah, so that's a big matchup. And before the game, these teams like to avoid distractions.
Right. And listen, he's getting enough distractions right now.
Yeah, Dallas is going to be a huge distraction because it's a rivalry game.
Right.
These Eagle fans are going to be a distraction. But there was a little bit of a twist this morning, Sharla.
Yeah, so there was a report released by ESPN this morning before the game, and the report basically saying that the Commanders were going after Jimmy Garoppolo, who of course we know is the 49ers quarterback, but they were looking into a big trade with Jimmy G back in the spring. So this is before they had Carson. They were looking to maybe make Jimmy G their main guy. So that report comes out. Of course, they chose not to go with that trade because Jimmy G decided to have shoulder surgery. So they said, okay, we'll nix that. But this comes out on a Sunday morning. And now Carson learns, I wasn't their first choice. I wasn't what this team wanted. They wanted Jimmy before they wanted me back in the spring. Now, again, will that get to Carson? Who knows? But Coach Rivera did not like it that this distraction came the morning of the game. Here's what he had to say.
Before the game, there was an ESPN report that you guys were...
That was a bullcrap report, okay? Just so everybody understands it. Okay, I didn't talk to anybody about that. Okay, I'm not sure where that all came from. I'm disappointed that came out like that, especially in today's game. I really am. And that's, because I didn't talk to anybody about Jimmy Garoppolo.
It's the timing in particular.
No, I know. The timing is what really upsets me.
Yeah.
Now, Coach obviously upset because it was a distraction. I think one of the things I take away from that is you're mentioning that, they wanted Jimmy G first. And during the press conference, when I even talked to Ron Rivera, he was like, Carson Wentz was always our guy. We always wanted Carson Wentz.
So it looks a little,
it looks a little, okay, maybe it wasn't
you're not really being
truthful.
True.
But maybe they were interested in Jimmy Garoppolo at first, and it didn't work out. Then Carson Wentz became their guy.
Yeah. It's all in the past, right? Now we got to look to the future, and hopefully it's a better one for the Commanders moving forward.
Absolutely. Now, we hope for a better game from the rookie receiver for Washington, Jahan Dotson, who coming into this game, he had 3 touchdowns, which was the best start touchdown-wise for a Washington receiver in franchise history. And then today, it didn't work out so well, but the family was in the house.
That's right. Yeah, he has such a huge fan base. In fact, he's from Nazareth, Pennsylvania, which is about an hour north of Philadelphia.
Is that in your old market?
Yeah. I've been to Nazareth. I've been to some Nazareth High football games before. So he's from Nazareth High, and the former president of the Booster Club there at his former high school got a huge group together. By huge, I mean 6 busloads, nearly 400 people. They all had shirts made. and they were all here to support Jahan. They all sat together way up high in section 337, and that included his family as well. And they are just so proud. I had the chance to talk with his dad also during the game. Here's what he had to say. What is it like to be here and have hundreds of people bus in all to see Jahan?
Wonderful, wonderful, just ecstatic. Can't believe it.
What is it like for you as a dad this season, watching what your son is able to do?
So proud of him, so proud of him. Like, I just can't say enough words. Really proud of him.
How excited are you to be here in this huge stadium seeing one of your former students?
It's actually like amazing. Like, I don't even know what words to describe it. I remember him sitting in my high school classroom telling me what he wanted to be, and he said, I want to be an NFL football player. And I'm just so happy his dreams actually came true.
So cool. That was one of his teachers, as she was talking about there, that he always wanted to be in the NFL. And now she is here. She is part of that huge busload that came down to watch Jahan. And while no, he didn't have a great game, really a lot of receivers didn't have a great game, as we mentioned, because Carson Wentz spent the day on the ground. So I think overall, though, they are just so proud of him and so excited to see him out here.
I'm excited to see that the family members were rocking burgundy and gold.
Oh,
because
absolutely.
When
they
I
all
interviewed
were.
him during training camp, they're like, I got a lot of Eagles fans in my family, also a lot of Cowboys fans as well.
Right.
But I think they've converted over.
It was burgundy and gold and then Penn State colors. You had a lot of people that supported him at Penn State
colors?
and then,
Okay, I like what they're rocking. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
that's good. And speaking of liking what they're rocking, you know what time it is?
Yep.
Yeah, it's time for Suited or Booted. You ready for this one?
I'm ready.
This is where we take a look at what the players are wearing before
as they
their
come
game,
to the game
their
today.
pre-game fit, and we suit it if we like it, we boot it if we dislike it. And the first person we have today is your boy who ripped it up on your fantasy points, Terry McLaurin. What do you think about Terry McLaurin?
You know what? This is why I like it. Because it seems casual. You got the casual jeans, you got the casual t-shirt, but then he throws in some little designer things. You got that Prada hat. You got that Louis Vuitton bag. You got that, look at that ice around his neck. I mean, come on. You got the Jordans. So, I like that it's like the subtle style. I like it.
What I love about this is you can always look at all the materialistic things he has and you name them out, because your closet is just full of it. I'm looking at some of this stuff, be like,
I don't have Terry money.
That don't look like JCPenney's. No, that don't look like Target, men's section.
It definitely doesn't.
So I love Terry McLaurin, but I'm gonna boot this.
Okay.
And the only reason why I'm booting it is because the shirt. I'm the guy who likes stuff tailored and form fitting. And if you have a body like Terry McLaurin,
why not?
Back when your boy,
he's got the baggy
played
t-shirt
football
thing,
back in the day. You wear stuff that shows off the muscles, and the shirt is just too baggy for me. It looks like it's back in 1992 or something like that. How about this? Montez Sweat is our next one. Suited or booted for Montez Sweat? Montez Sweat was always bringing the swag, and now all of a sudden he's bringing the drag.
Yeah, he looked great. I like it. He looked great last week. This week, what is that, Montez? The tucked in, the sweatpants, and
I think he was wearing that watching Netflix movies.
Absolutely. And then he was like, "Oh, it's game time. I gotta go.
Get out of bed." So I guess what? We're both booting that?
Boot. That's a boot. Hey, goodbye.
Hey, you the fans, let us know how you feel about this. Suited or booted, we're gonna give you a shout out. But look at the flashback of Montez Sweat, because Montez Sweat, we have 3 images. Week 1, we kind of so on that, but it was okay. It was stylish.
Yeah.
Week 2, he was. Woo, I need that leather blazer. Remember that?
Yeah, that was nice. I like that.
And then
in week 3, he
happened?
just, like you said, he was late for the game. He was wearing his PJs. All right.
All right. So
hopefully we have another good one here. We do.
Our
okay.
last one is you know what? Let me say this. So this is Carson Wentz, suited or booted, and for me, he's wearing the pink jacket, the pink shoes as well. And the saying is, when you look good, you play good. And listen, Carson Wentz, bro, this is not good. This is not pretty. This is not cute. You don't look handsome in what you're wearing in your suit. I am booting that, with 2 feet. The double boot. He gets the double boot.
Now, I like
the double boot.
I like a man who can rock pink, but something about it with the white also, it looked too Miami Vice to me. Now we're getting into fall. His family looked amazing today. His girls had these cute little fall outfits on. I absolutely loved it. But Carson, we got to put away summer. We got to just put it away. That's it.
Okay. So wait, so you're booting that? Okay,
Yeah, I'm
so
gonna boot
double. Okay, are you giving Carson Wentz the double boot?
The boot, yeah.
Just the boot?
Just the boot.
Okay, so I'm
Just
giving
the
the
boot.
double boot. This
Yeah.
is back week, the double boot. That's
Yeah.
a franchise record for double.
So you booted all 3 today.
Did I?
Yeah, you booted all 3. No style.
I did.
They look bad, they play bad.
Team.
Say they look bad, they play bad. That's what happens. Step up.
Anyways, hey, speaking of looks, I can't release it now, but I'm gonna break a story a little bit later, and it has to do with what the team's wearing. That's a tease.
Oh, okay.
All right, so I believe it's now fan reaction, right?
Yeah.
And I do have some of the comments.
Okay.
You want to read them this time?
Yeah, let's see.
Oh my
Let's
gosh,
see what
look
we
how many
got.
messages I have.
Ooh. Okay. Let's just pick a few. We'll
there
pick a
you
few
go.
here. Okay. Willette Williams. The Commanders need to cover their quarterback. They could have hurt him today. So now she's blaming the line. But he says it's not all on the line. He told us it's not on the line. Some of those were on him. Some of those were on him. Some of them were on him.
So I think it's a combination of many factors, right? So obviously the line can only block the guys for so long. Yes, they can make mistakes. But you could put some blame on the receivers maybe not getting open, or you can give credit to the defensive backs.
He wasn't able to get rid of the ball fast
to
enough.
the receivers. So it's like it could be a whole bunch of things instead of just always like blaming on one thing. But go ahead.
Betsy Alder.
What up, Betsy?
Rivera.
Remember Betsy?
You can't get no worse.
Oh, she's going after Coach Rivera.
You can't get no worse, says Betsy.
And
then there's a puking emoji, like a.
Explain. How do you feel?
That's how Betsy feels.
How do you feel about Betsy and her Ron Rivera comments and the?
I mean, I don't know. Was it all coaching out there? You're sacked 9 times. I don't know if that's a coaching. That's okay. Yes, go. You may talk.
So, I love Ron Rivera.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to say, hey, Ron Rivera, it's your fault. But
no.
Just as a whole, as a team, the coaches and the players, like corrections have to be made. And they're doing the same thing they've been doing, not even this season, but going back to last season. And it's like, when are we going to actually correct these mistakes and play mistake-free football? So I can't say it's all Rivera, but
I have one that's just, I'm sorry, I already skipped down.
Oh, you already
skipped
down?
great.
Okay, read that
Wait.
one. So why don't you save that one for last?
This is bold. This is bold.
You don't want to save it for
Angel
last?
Jackson.
What's Angel saying?
We'll do like one more.
Angel's not being an angel right now.
His heart,
Or
meaning
is it
Carson.
Angel? Is it Angel or Angel?
I don't know. It's just Angel or Angel. I don't know. They're spelled the same, but I can't tell. So his heart, meaning Carson Wentz, was with the Eagles. He lost on purpose. That did not happen. That didn't happen. He didn't lose on purpose. He's getting paid a lot of money to play here for the Commanders. And
I just went back to the Eagles locker room.
Oh, right.
To try to confirm that.
Yeah.
And so that's funny. I was in the press box. I was actually thinking about that. I know that's not actually the case. But I did say, I was like, oh my gosh, Carson Wentz is playing like he's still playing for the Eagles. Like he was part of the team. Like, let me help out my team by taking these 9 sacks.
Oh, Jesus.
Come on, Angel.
Okay,
or Angel.
let's see.
I think it's probably
see.
Angel.
Gregory Wilson, new name, new season, new quarterback, the same mediocrity.
And I think that goes back to what I was just explaining before. Ron Rivera has now been here 3 years. He's always spoke about the young players he had, and it's going to take whatever time for them
but how
to
long?
grow.
How long is that
Clearly
time?
more than 3 years, because right now, his most successful season was his first season. And let's just be honest, most of those players were Jay Gruden's boys.
Yeah, they weren't brought here by him. Yep, absolutely. All right, we'll finish with this one. Kenyon Miko Weems, 26 years of the same results.
I don't think there's a comment for that. I think,
mic drop.
I think what's very sad about it though is, growing up in Connecticut, I grew up a Giants fan, but you respected the Washington. You respected Washington, how good they were in the 80s and the 90s, and to see how that success has literally been drained out of this stadium. I mean, obviously this is not where they were playing when they were really good. It's tough. It's sad to see all the Eagles fans here, and you couldn't tell.
It was so loud. You could hear that Eagles chant the entire time. You could hear them saying defense, and
you don't get that at any other stadium.
You don't.
Now,
I do want to add one more thing.
I don't know what the numbers are now, but FedEx Field, is in last place in regards to attendance so far this season. Maybe it's going to move up a little bit, but you can give credit, obviously, to the Eagles fans for filling the seats.
Thanks for filling the seats.
But yeah.
Well, I do want to add this one more.
Okay.
Alan Ashmore, put Taylor Heineke in while we still have a chance. Don't wait till week 9 to do it. So he's saying pull Carson.
I disagree with that.
Yeah.
I think Taylor Heineke has the heart to perform really, to put together some big plays. You can definitely rely on Taylor
Today,
Heineke,
could have used him in that run when Carson was trying to run it in.
Yeah.
Could have used that dive by Taylor.
But Taylor doesn't have the arm Carson Wentz has. Carson Wentz hit Terry McLaurin on that deep ball. Taylor Heineke was a guy who couldn't do that.
Right. So I like these comments, though. They're good.
Yeah, no, very good. So we appreciate your comments every single week. We're going to do the same thing next week when they take on Dallas. And speaking of Dallas, this is where we get to our final thought. We play our nice music to really bring out the emotion out of what we're saying. And the floor is yours, ma'am.
Oh, okay.
The floor is yours.
So this week was not ideal. This week did not go how they wanted it to go. If you're a Commanders fan, I saw many sad ones out there. This week was tough to watch. After about the 5th sack, seeing Carson in the ground, you thought, oh man, he's got to pick it up. He's got to stand back up. He did not. He did not stand back up. We hope that he does for Dallas. I think that maybe this is a wake-up call. I think that they need it to be a wake-up call. So I'm going to say that they're going to go into Dallas. They're going to play a lot better. They're going to turn things around. All the things they've been saying each week that they want to do, that they need to do, they are going to do.
Okay.
I'm going to say 21-17, they win at Dallas.
Okay, 21-17. That's not bad. All right. So my final thought is this.
Okay.
You've already struggled against the Lions, which made you 1-1.
Right.
And then you take on your divisional rival, the Philadelphia Eagles, and you literally get your butt waxed.
Yep.
Now you're taking on the biggest rival in Washington football history, which are the Dallas Cowboys. If you lose to the Dallas Cowboys, think about some of the other teams. If Ohio State lost to Michigan, or think of those big rivalry games.
Yeah.
Those mean so much, like Duke and North Carolina in basketball.
Right.
Remember Coach K when they
lot.
lost to North Carolina?
Right.
Like, he was devastated by that. Like, that can't happen.
So
what we're going to do right now, though, is we're going to pray.
Oh, here we go. Every Sunday.
Dear Lord, Heavenly Jesus, we're going to pray for the Washington Commanders, Lord, to go into Dallas, Lord. We know that is a rivalry game, and those Cowboy fans are worse than the Eagles fans we saw here today at FedEx Field. But although those fans in Dallas are not as bad as the Eagles fans, we do have to worry about them because they too stink, and they too believe they're better than everybody despite them not winning a Super Bowl in a very long time. So that makes us the same. And because of that, we are equal. And when we take the field on Sunday next week, the Washington Commanders will lose 20-17.
Oh, okay.
Amen.
Okay. All right.
So you think they're going to win?
We shall see. I think they're going to win. You think they're going to lose. Mine's more of like a hope, The good news is things can only get better from here. So, or I guess they could get worse if he gets sacked 10 times at Dallas, but we won't go there.
I can't believe I closed my eyes on the prayer. Like, I actually
that was good.
Really,
that was good. You were really into
really
it. You were really feeling it. We'll see if it worked. I don't know. But that does it. We're going to put a bow on this because let's just all forget about this game. Commanders fans, I think we all want to just pretend that this day didn't happen. So we'll put a bow on this, put a wrap on this. It's been a great time. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for all of your comments. I'm Sharla McBride.
I'm Darren Haynes. Commanders lose 24-8 to the Philadelphia Eagles. We'll see you next week.